Alright guys, I figured I'd do a little video for the assembly of the Diabolo tank. As some of you know that have recently purchased a Diabolo, the manual does not give instructions for any of the assembly of this fuel tank. So it's basically you got a long fitting with barbs on both ends, and it gets a nut and a washer on one side, and then you got another type of fitting that just has an open end, which will be your breather fitting. So you know, as I'm looking at this tank and I'm looking at the fittings and I'm thinking, you know, well, there's nothing really to seal these fittings to the tank itself besides the compression of the nut and the fitting itself. So I was thinking, you know, I had some old fuel injector O-rings that I bought probably 15 years ago, and had a kit of all different sizes, and I found these O-rings here for fuel injectors and whatnot that fit on these fittings perfectly. I installed an O-ring on one of them already, and I think that this is going to be the way to do it. So if you have some fuel injector, like a fuel injector O-ring kit, you might try it. Anyways, I measured the fat portion of the fittings with my micrometer, with my caliper, and they're 4.88 millimeters wide at the fat part that goes through the tank, and I got the corresponding O-ring to fit that perfectly. So with the fitting being 4.88 millimeters thick, I found that a 3/16 drill bit is the correct size to use. So I'm going to go ahead and drill my tank and install these fittings. So as you can see, I put a little dot here right at the very top of the tank, and it'll basically be right in the front up. Anyways, you'd have to install it to see. So the breather will go where that dot is on an angle right there, and you don't want it all the way at the top, and you don't want it on the angle of the tank itself, because it won't seal properly. So you want to get it down low enough to where it is on the flat portion of this angle here. So anyways, like I said, I got a 3/16 drill bit, and I'm going to go ahead and drill my tank now. Very quickly. Make sure you get out any of the plastic. And the tricky part is going to be getting this fitting through that hole. I'm probably going to have to use some tools and do some finagling to get it through there, because that hole is actually a hair smaller than these threads. So anyways, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to use these fuel injector O-rings, and this is the wrong size one. Here we go. Here's the O-ring. See if you can see how big it is. Yeah. Anyways, go ahead and put it on there, and it fits not super tight but not super loose either. So it should be perfect. I don't know exactly how I'm going to get this through that hole, but I'm going to try and do it on the video here. So I got needle nose pliers that I've angled up in there, and then I'm going to take my 1.5 millimeter Allen driver, oh, that worked, and stick it on there. So the hole of the fitting is going right, oh, there we go, just like so. I pushed it with my finger in there, and it came out. And there we go. Perfect. This is going to work perfectly. Put your washer on, and then I'm going to use some Loctite because I don't want this to come loose later on. And I'll put some on the threads here. You could probably use like some fuel resistant glue if you wanted. Not the easiest thing to do. And I'm looking for my adjustable wrench so I can tighten this up. Now I've seen some minicopter guys and they put both the breather and the pickup side by side at the top of the tank like this, and that's fine, but I feel like if you put them both up here with the pickup, your line's going to go down and then sag to the back. So what's going to end up happening if you run your clunk all the way to the end, your line's going to be too long and it's going to bind up on the back end when it comes up, as it comes up, because the line's going to be longer than it would be if it came straight up here. So I think it's better to go ahead and put the pickup going through the cap. So I'm putting the breather at the top and the pickup through the cap.